Hello, mindful friends. Today we're talking about holding our opinions and beliefs lightly. So this is what we covered last week in the second session in mindful communication, and I always love sharing on this because it's a great reminder to me to teach it, and it always brings up questions. It touches on things that are sensitive for all of us that sometimes we don't want to look at or shift or open through. And it's the idea that we never hold on to a belief or opinion as the ultimate truth, as the only truth out there that everyone else would be a lot better if they believed in too, which we all have a tendency to think is, if everybody thought like me on this or acted like me on this, the world would be a better place. It's gone through all of our minds at some point. But the problem with this is that in the whole history of the world and this earth and our society, our humanity, never have we experienced healing or peace from trying to impose our beliefs or our ideas upon others. Never, no matter what they are. No matter if we think our ideas are the most peaceful and healing. The second we try to force others to think the same way, they become violent. So, what do we do with this? And when we hold our beliefs and opinions lightly, we can't get rid of them altogether, right? We wouldn't even want to, because they serve a purpose. They help us to move forward in certain ways. They lead towards progress, development, transformation, because they take us from one idea to the next discovery, to the next. So we're not emptying ourselves of our beliefs and opinions. We're still going to have them, but we're going to hold them lighter than sometimes we have a tendency to do. And we're going to recognize what is a belief and an opinion versus what is truth. And the difference between a truth that's our truth and big picture truth. So identifying our beliefs and opinions are anything that is our kind of perception of the world around us, what should be happening, how people should behave, the laws between men, our behavior, what's happening in the future, what things mean. Those, I know that sometimes they feel like hard facts for us, but anything where you could go to another culture, another group of people, another generation, and hear something very different, that somebody sees it very differently, it's a belief or an opinion. It's not a truth. It's a truth for maybe, for you perceive it that way. But all of these things are based on your past experiences, where you grew up, the education you had, the religion you grew up in. And if you go somewhere else, even your next door neighbor who was in that close of proximity to you, based on the information they were consuming, the experience they had in life, their truth or their opinion would be very different from yours. So anything that is subjective to your experience of life or how you see things, and anything that someone else might have a different opinion on, that's an opinion. So that's a lot of what we think in the day. It's a lot of how we see the world. And when it constructs our reality so solidly, right? It's how we see things, how we experience things. It's our lives. It feels like truth. But how you distinguish, again, is look at your neighbor, look at someone else in the next town over, another culture. Do they see the same way you do? If not, it is a subjective perspective on life, on this experience. And it doesn't mean that it's not valid, because that's your experience, that's how you're going through things. But it does mean we don't assume or try to project it onto everybody, to think that everybody should think that way. We hold it lightly. This is ours. It may serve us. It gives us a perspective of reality, but I hold it lightly. And holding it lightly also means that we don't try to force ourselves to stay in this box forever. I mean, how many times have we had an experience where we've held on to this belief or this opinion, like death grip? I'm gonna hold on to this forever. And then a year later, something drastic or maybe even small shifts in our lives. All of a sudden, we're having to eat our words. You know, how often do we eat our words? So often. If we are humble and open, we recognize how often we're wrong. And this right there should tell us, hold it lightly. And again, doesn't mean we don't have them, right? Because every time you look back, maybe that opinion got you somewhere you were meant to go. It moved you forward in a certain way. But once it was no longer, the kind of most serving way of seeing things, we let ourselves shift. We let something else come in, and we humble ourselves to, all right, maybe it was time to shed that. So we hold it lightly. And how many times have we thought one way, especially when we're growing up, we are in one family, we see those one beliefs, and then we step out into the world, move somewhere different, and start seeing these other interpretations of religion, of education, of femininity, whatever. And we go, whoa, this is really different from what I observed, and how my concrete view of the world is shattered. And doesn't ever, we don't have to shed everything, but it's like really fun to take bits and pieces and say, I want to adopt this. I like this. Let me morph, kind of change what I'm thinking to include these new perspectives that are kind of fun and are actually more true to me. So as we're exploring this and holding lightly, all we're doing is recognizing what, if it's changing, it's an impermanent belief. It morphs, it adapts, it grows. It's not solid truth. It's not permanent, which is everything in life. Non-permanent, not forever. So let your beliefs be that way too. Hold them lightly and let that soften your heart to others. And soften your heart to how they see the world, knowing that for them it is different, and that's okay. And watch how softening the belief and giving it that little bit of cushion room for, is this true? Is this really the ultimate? And that little cushion room brings a lot more peace to your life. So much more. Because it's reassuring to know I don't have to prove this all the time, or force others to think it, or convert the world to my idea, my religion, my things. What a peaceful feeling to know you don't have to do that. And you can interact with others, learning from them, learning from each other, listening open-heartedly without that armor of you have to think like me. So just watch as that, feel the peace it brings you. And as it starts to open your heart, how it brings more connection into your life. That peace, connection, understanding. That's what we're going for. And that's kind of where we get healing in life. Healing doesn't come from everyone thinking like us. It comes from us being open-hearted, connecting with others with the intent to understand how others see the world, because it will never be all the same. So enjoy loosening grasp on beliefs this week, just starting to observe softening around the edges. If you enjoy these talks and would like to join us for a group session or individual coaching, you can find us at newleafmindfulness.com. You can find some of my guided meditations on Insight Timer and my YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you all very soon.